All right, let's adjourn to in here for my 10-year project with year number 10. So yes, still in Kelowna. Um, still still at the family house on Lake Shore, which is where I will live until I leave Kelowna as a 17 or 18-year-old. Bad with ages, which is funny for a guy who's doing a 5-year project of my life. Um, so it, yeah, year 10. Um, I'm reading. My family is definitely a bunch of readers. On Sundays, we would have quiet time where we would sit and read. I definitely remember that of just like everyone would go to the corner and we would read. Starting off with kind of my memories are kind of Rupert the Bear books and Naughty books, Noddy books. I think also Little Black Sambo. My parents were bringing books that probably they had read as children when they were growing up in England and Scotland. So that's the kind of books that I was reading, and then I would go along to getting Narnia books out of the library. I think. Um, yeah, I definitely have strong memories of get the first books I was able to get out of the library. And it's like, wow, this place where I could get books for free. It was like quite amazing. Um, and you know, uh, Interesting battles with my brother. Uh, just because we were so close in age, we were very close, but also very adversarial. Little boys just beating the heck out of each other. Have a little sister who was 5 years younger than me, who probably got kind of trampled. Strong memory of, being blustering, careening young boy and throwing open the door and hearing the scream, and behind it was my little sister with her front teeth knocked out. So violence against little sisters. Sorry, little sister there. Um, um, Also, just a really kind of a sense of the world being very small at this point, around 10. This is kind of the aura around this time. Probably maybe youngerish memories of just like it's like my little neighborhood. That was like my entire world. Um, that it was the distance that I could bike. Like we lived well on the what at that point was the outskirts of Kelowna, and you'd have to getting on the bike and biking down to bike down to the local corner store was like 2.5 clicks away, and there was a really steep hill, so it was like a major expedition to do that. And then you would use all your money on all the candy, all the sugar treats, all the licorice cigarettes, and the sugar dipping stuff. Yeah, yeah, all that sort of stuff. A little bit later, not at 15, but a little bit later, hanging out with a friend, Jimmy, and we would watch Saturday morning cartoons, and we would make these sugar drinks. It's funny how much of my life revolved around sugar at this point, of uh, of uh, of mixing like iced tea mix, which was basically sugar, but getting it thicker and thicker and making these gigantically sugary concoctions and drinking it and watching Saturday morning cartoons, and kind of spinning until we just sort of like we suddenly crashed and the Saturday was over. Yeah, and being able to do that at Jimmy's because Jimmy was had older parents and he was the only child and he got kind of spoiled and he had all the toys, so I would go over there and do his stuff. Um, but just yeah, that idea of being this small little world, like my little neighborhood, and that like my parents would sometimes they would go to Vancouver, like out of the valley, and it was very much like, oh, I was in this valley, and the whole rest of the world was beyond that. And Vancouver was like an exotic thing that you would get brought home, Planet of the Ape dolls or stuff like that. From it was like magical, and I was like just still within this small little cocoon, and I probably wasn't really aware of wasn't aware of too much other than myself, you know. how much has that changed? But really, really, just all about myself and all about my this little world, and fights with my brother and trampling over my little sister, and yeah, friend Jimmy, who had his own had his own issues, um, being this only kid and slightly spoiled and getting into more and more trouble. There was another child who was really had issues, and was was I have the memory of like my birthday party, but him having just this horrific tantrum, like just rage filled, and him ending up kind of getting dragged away, with someone who later in life I think was, got picked up at the school shooting kids with BB guns, like someone who had probably serious antisocial behavior, real issues, but you didn't know that at the time. You just thought, oh, well, he's kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, that's me that's a little, I guess, snapshot. It's gonna only be snapshots of me at around that 10 years old in Kelowna. Uh, a lot of time. It's funny. If 5 was like in the winter, 10 was like kind of slightly kind of more summery and being outside, because at this age it was also very much, as kids, we just sort of lived outside. We lived in the neighborhood. You just got like in the summertime you just got shoved out the door. uh, Not gigantic memories of school, other than apparently I had trouble writing, and there was weird kind of trainer hand thing for me. But I can't say I have giantly uh, giant memories of that, other than I had, certain teachers I guess I remembered of kind of very kind teacher at my first at primary school, and then slightly more kind of stern teachers as I went up. And I think um, I'll talk about kind of more adult teachers. It seemed like all women at that point, and then it was like more male teachers as we get up into high school. At least that was my memory, or who I was within at that point. But like there was the primary school, there was the secondary school, and there was the high school. And so I guess at 10 we're sort of primary into secondary, and it wasn't too much of a jump, and puberty has not hit yet. Oh God, that is going to hit me like a train as we go along in this. It's not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight. Um, I've got a bowl cut basically. I didn't want my hair combed to a side. It's just all bowl cut. Uh, yeah, but we'll get into that next time. Ugh, 15. Ooh, horrible time. All right, we'll stop there. This is my weird little video project of just talking about my life in 5-year chunks. Uh, Not exhaustively, just sort of the high points, or the things that come to mind as I turn on the camera. All right, more videos later.